The Oak of Ages stands tall within the heart of Athelloren. Its roots dig deep into the earth, spreading far and wide. Calmness, serenity, peacefulness, thriving, all words used to describe the oak. But not today. Today, the oak is dying. Orion and the Wood Elves have emerged in a final defence of the oak. He brings with him Ariel and a vast array of any defenders that he can find. A spell is cast. It is an attempt to catch some centaurs who have managed to break Orion's line and are heading for the oak with their spears and their shields. But Orion knows that this attack is very likely just a distraction, a way to break his forces and his formation. But he gives chase anyway. Some scouts carrying their bows begin to head towards the battlefield, where they find the Cloven Ones with their spears and their shields and their hideous chaos spawn. They carry two-handed axes and have armour ready for battle. It is not going to be an easy defence for Orion. But who would lead such an army of malevolent, ravenous beasts? None other than Morghur the Shadowgave. He has one goal on his mind. He is looking at it. The destruction of the tree. His very essence and steps, leaving behind a pestilence and disease on the land. A Cygor follows him, with a rock ready to throw on unsuspecting enemies. A Razorgore herd, waiting in the wings, defending their shaman, who casts cruel spells, one of which is to summon a manticore, a horrific beast who will stop at nothing. The battle for the oak has begun. Great stags attempt to flank the beastmen in an attempt to break their formations early on. A great charge from the wild hunters, knocking back some of the beastmen who were beginning the charge. On the other flank, a great horde of beastmen have clashed with the scouts who had spotted them. But the Wood Elves are aware of this, and they send their Zotes to defend. Sisters riding the stags attempt to reinforce. And Orion brings his treemen and his most trusted soldiers into the fray, whilst they devastate the Centaurs who had distracted them. Orion, now satisfied that there are no other units nearby, begins his march back to the front line, along with Ariel in their great defence of the Oak. The rampage continues. The great stags providing some relief. But it is bloody, and it is difficult for the Wood Elves to hold. Arrows come raining in from the raiders, who can see quite clearly their targets. A great dragon has landed on the Saigor in an attempt to battle him to the death. The stag units doing their best to delay the attack, but it was not enough. For now, Morghur and his cruel, rampaging beastmen are beginning their assault. A spell is cast. The hounds attempt to break the formations, but it is not enough. Continue their ruinous rampage. Ariel joins the fight, casting spells, doing everything in her power to push the host back. Chaos Spawn charge into the elves, who managed to block most of it with their tall shields. The Razorgore herd and the Ungors are attempting to slay the dragon, whilst the great stag riders, although bloodied, have found an opening and are chasing the raiders away with their bows. The initial fight on this side of the battlefield has concluded with the victory going to the Wood Elves, who have managed to push the host back with their trees and their zotes. Beastmen attempt to flee. Get followed as the Saigor gets in some great throws, decimating their lines. Just then, Orion, sensing that the battle might not be going his way, asks for additional reinforcements. Duruthu joins the fray with his amber sword, the very essence of a living tree, defending its home. War dancers charge forward, along with Treekin and the Sisters of Twilight, riding their great emerald dragon, raining down arrows on foes. They are joined by their hawk riders, and many units begin to flood through, finding foes as they enter the battle. The beastmen were unsuspecting of this and begin to fight for their final breath. The battle rages on as once again the Wild Riders charge. Beastman lines. But it is just then that Morghur has tricks of his own, a cockatrice, and a new reinforcement has arrived, bringing with it chaos spawn, gorgons, an incarnate, a jabberslithe, and a giant. Relief in the form of a manticore all begin to charge onto the battlefield from the eastern flank. On the opposite side, the western flank, Morghur has also requested aid. A cockatrice, a manticore, a jabberslithe, incarnate, a giant, and the chaos spawn all arrive to take the Oak of Ages. The battle rages on. Units are chased down by the great stags, who are picking off the Ungors and the Chaos Spawn. The Cygor is battling the Zotes along with the Manticore. The Dragon and the Cockatrice dueling to the death. The Gorgon joining the battle slices through Wild Riders. The Eagle Riders, sensing danger, attempt to relieve some of their army on the front line. A spell is cast, a flock, dealing additional casualties. Ariel, seeing the reinforcements coming through, decides to reinforce the flanks and charges head on, with Orion standing close to the lake, defending the Oak till his last breath. Ariel comes in, casts spells on the Manticore, while Orion fights a cockatrice. The very heart of his homeland. The Gorgon begins his assault, along with the Giant and the Chaos Spawn. Durathu, who chased Morghur and some of the retreating beastmen, has entered the trees and attempting to flank anybody who is fleeing, finishing them off as they leave, ensuring that nobody is left. Their sights have now turned. They begin to march on anyone they can find, including Morghur, who is now leaving the battlefield. But is that a Wood Elfin victory? Have they successfully defended the Oak? The Incarnate continues his assault on the Treekin. Cygor, the Giant, all dealing as many casualties as they can. Ariel, with her dying breath, surrounded by Chaos Spawn, attempts to cast spells. Orion, who is now attacked by a Gorbull, a Gorgon and a Jabberslythe, continues to stand strong. Bloodied and badly hurt, Orion can no longer stand. He falls on the battlefield, breathing his last breath as the Chaos Spawn and the Beastmen continue their rampage, slaying Ariel. Forces move on. Durathu fights a giant for supremacy over the battlefield, successfully keeping the giant at bay and knocking it to the side. Jabberslythe comes in for an attack, slamming down onto the Treekin. And the Incarnate, malevolent in its thirst for blood, stomps onto the War Dancer and Treekin. Sisters of Twilight, seeing the battle turning towards the Beastmen, aim for the Beastman Lord as arrows rain down. He briefly retreats, taking hit after hit. But that is not enough to stop him. dragon fights the Cygor and Cockatrice, successfully breaking the morale of the Cygor. Durathu turns, finding more Chaos Spawn to slay. The Cockatrice goes down, the dragon flying triumphant. The Incarnate finishes off the last of the Treekin, whilst the Lord continues to take arrows, but stays near his army, protecting them from the Wood Elves. Beastmen have managed to carve their way through the flank, cutting through a wide array of the Wood Elven defences. Durathu, in a last ditch effort, pushes back the Incarnate. Surrounded by Chaos Spawn and a giant, continues to take hit after hit, but doesn't go down, knowing that the defense of the Oak relies on him. The Hawk Riders, now without ammunition, begin their last-ditch effort to attack the Chaos Spawn. The dragon falling to the raiders, and Durathu, now feeling the pressure of the spells from the Lord, begins to waver. Realizing that he is surrounded. He managed to get the final hit in on the Beastman Lord, slaying him with immense strength. But that is all he can muster. Durathu attempts to flee, but the Chaos Spawn surround him, bringing him down to his knees and falling in battle. The Beastmen continue their march, finding only stragglers on the Wood Elven side. Sisters looking across the battlefield, realizing that there is nothing left, continue to fire with their final breath. But they watch as the last of the defences are pushed back. They attempt to charge in, but there are too many Chaos Spawn. They begin to surround Sisters of the Twilight. The Gorgon, realizing that she has landed, attempts to catch her, but they flee, attempting to take flight, while the war herd is victorious. A Pyrrhic victory, but one that has secured them with the destruction of the oak. That brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this, then please like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye for now.